Morning, brethren. This morning our daily devotion is taken from Galatians chapter 6 and verse 10. The Apostle Paul says there, "Therefore, as we have opportunity, let us do good to all people, especially to those who belong to the family of believers." Or as other translations have it, especially those who belong to the household of faith. The Apostle Paul is in a section of this letter to the churches in Galatia where he is bringing practical application to bear upon the lives of those to whom he is writing. He's showing them what it is to work out their Christian faith in very real and practical ways in day-to-day situations. And here he urges upon the believers the importance of doing what they can to help other people. As we have opportunity, let us do good to all people. You notice that he says here, as we have opportunity. The reality is that in the world in which we live, there will be many opportunities that arise for us to minister to others. We can minister to others within our families. We can certainly minister to others within our church, and we'll speak about that in a moment. But we can also minister to those living around us in our local communities and even further afield. The Apostle Paul describes such ministry in these terms: doing good to people. And the thought there is of doing something that is lovely, beautiful. The word kalos that is used, translated good, is the word from which we get our English word calligraphy, something that is beautiful to look at, to behold. In other words, our ministering to others is to be something that is beautiful to look at, not for us to stand back and admire it, but rather for God to be able to stand back and admire it. We are to do good to all people. One of the effects of sin in our lives, even in the lives of those who have been born again, is that we have a tendency to seek to do good to those who are close to us and whom we know, particularly family members. If they're struggling, we're there to help out in any way we can. That sense of wanting to help sometimes doesn't extend as far as it should. We see other people who are not related to us, other people that we don't know that well, and if they're going through difficulties and problems, our attitude tends to be, well, it's nothing to do with me. In actual fact, as Christians, we are meant to be alongside such people and helping them as and when and how we can. Now, of course, not all of us are in a position to help as well as we could, but some of us are. And where we have the ability to help, where the opportunity arises, and where we have the means to help, we should also have the will and the desire to help. Let us do good to all people. We live in a divided society in Northern Ireland, politically, religiously, culturally, and very often we find that people wouldn't do anything for someone from the other side. As Christians, that shouldn't be the case. The only division that we recognise in society as Christians is those who are God's people and those who are not. And here the Apostle Paul tells us we're to do good to all people, especially those who belong to the family of believers. In other words, we're to be particularly looking out for those who are our fellow believers or fellow Christians who are going through difficulties and hard times, and help them in whatever practical ways we can. However, whilst that is to be our primary concern, it is not to be our exclusive and only concern. We are to be concerned about others, those who are not Christians, and our helping of them in any way that we can be a wonderful means of testimony to them, perhaps a foot in the door, so to speak, that enables us eventually to witness to them of the wonderful love of God in Jesus Christ. So as you go about your daily responsibilities today, look out for the opportunities that arise, because they'll be there. Opportunities to do good unto all people, and especially those who belong to the family of believers. It may be someone fairly close to you geographically. It may be someone on the other side of the world, a fellow Christian who's in need of financial support, who's in need of practical support in some way. Whatever the opportunity is, let us take it by the hand and let us do good to all people, especially to those who belong to the family of believers. Have a good day, folks.